point of view. You have just gotten 60 seconds reatomized and do not completely know the best tips for survival. Well, don't worry, I got you covered. Yo, what's up everybody, this is your boy Kid Gaming VR, and today we are going to be giving you all some tips and tricks for 60 seconds reatomized. Now, 60 seconds reatomized released back in 2020, I believe, though it was an original game called 60 seconds released near 2015. Now, this was a big fad back then, so with the reatomized version, which came out about a year or two ago, a ton of returning players are coming back and do not know some of the new mechanics that they added in. And then there are just completely new players who have no idea how the game works. So I'm going to be helping everybody with some tips and tricks for 60 seconds reatomized. Anyways, let's get started. Tip number 1. Ted. Now, whenever you begin the game, you'll be presented with a choice, either to play as Ted or Dolores. Now, I always pick Ted as it always saves you a slot, and here is what I mean. Now, whenever you play as Dolores and you pick up Ted, he'll take up 3 spots, which is not that good, as whenever scavenging, you will only have 4 slots. This is all but 1 slot if you pick up Ted. Though, if you play as Ted and pick up Dolores, she will only take 2 slots, effectively saving you a slot, which can be very useful. Tip number 2. Main items. Now, when you start scavenging, there is no way for you to get all the items in the house. So what should you bring? Now, depending on your difficulty, you can get up to 5 free items in your shelter, and the lowest you can get is 2 items for free. Now, you get an extra 1 or 2 items depending on if you bring the suitcase or not, which most of the time you should. But anyways, this is on the Batman difficulty, so you will be only getting 2 free items. So what you should be getting is the radio, the Boy Scout book, the flashlight, the med kit, the map, the suitcase, food and water, and of course your family. These items can help you get rescued and also get Pancake the dog, though we'll talk about that later. Also, you don't need all of your family, as during about the first 5 days, you can get a knock on or fall at door, and it is most likely a free family member. Tip number 3, pay attention. Now, in the top right corner of your screen, there is a clock, and that will show you how much time you have for the 60 seconds to scavenge around. Now, always pay attention to this, as you don't want to be stuck on the other side of the house whenever you are about to get killed by a bomb. Now, that's all the tips for scavenging, but there's also a survival mode, so I think we should jump into that and tell you all the tips for that. Tip number 1, rations. Now, whenever playing the game, you have to ration your food and water throughout the people in your shelter. But how long do you need to wait until rationing? So, the basic gist of this is that a family member can last a max of 5 days without water and 10 days without food. Though in my opinion, it's best to give everyone food and water every 5 days, and this is to keep them from being hungry/thirsty. Also, it's just easy to remember every 5 days, as if you give them food every 10 days like you think you should, normally they'll need another serving because they're normally still hungry or on the verge of starvation. So, in my opinion, just give them food and water every 5 days and they'll keep from getting hungry or thirsty. Tip number 2, expeditions. Now, inside of 60 seconds, you're not actually expected to survive from only the stuff you scavenge in the house. So the game allows you to go on expeditions, but there's different stats from the family for how much items they bring back, and if they even come back at all. Now, the best person for scavenging is Little Timmy. He always brings back the best stuff, and overall is the best person to send out. By the way, some little mini tips is that you need to try to send people out on expeditions after you give them the rations. This will give them more of a chance to come back, as they won't be hungry or thirsty, so they will have a lot more strength. Also, only send them out after the first 20 to 25 days, because the area is going to be highly irradiated, so they could get sick from the expeditions. Though, always remember that if you have a gas mask, then you can send a family member out on expeditions during those time limits. Now, number 3 is Pancake the dog. Now, inside of 60 seconds, you can get different animals inside of your shelter. But the hardest, but also the most useful and cutest, is Pancake the dog. And some people are confused on how to get him, so here's how you do this. But also remember, you'll not see Pancake inside of your shelter until the last part. So remember that unless you don't have all of these items I'm about to list off now, you are most likely not going to get Pancake the dog. The items you need for this is a spare can of soup, the med kit, the map, and also the flashlight in order to keep Pancake. Now, the way you start out the Pancake storyline is what I like to call it, is first off, you're presented with a situation saying that there's something growling at you. Now, what you want to do in that situation is you want to use the flashlight, and then it will reveal that it was a dog, aka what you family members will name Pancake. But he will leave after a little bit. You will not get to see him, and he will come back soon though. And this is in the next encounter that you have soon. And this is whenever he comes back, but he's a bit hungry. What you need to do is you must give him the can of food, and then he'll be happy, and he will come back for the next encounter. And the next encounter you can have with him is Pancake coming back, but he looks a bit worried. He wants you to go out with him. What you want to do is you do not want to bring any weapons out there, as this could get one of your family members injured, as there could be people out there who could try to hurt you. So what you want to do is you want to use the map, and you want to bring that out, so that way Pancake does not get spooked and is able to stay with you. He'll be happy after a little bit, and then you will come back. Also, this is a good idea, as it will give you some free supplies most of the time, so it's a good idea to just use the map in general. Anyways, after that encounter, you will get an encounter, which is the final one. And this is where Pancake comes back injured. You must bring him the medkit. If you do not bring him back the medkit, he will actually die, and the storyline is that your family members have to bury him. But if you do give him the medkit, then he stays in the shelter because the family members do not want him leaving after what happened to him. So then you have Pancake the dog in your shelter. But what does he do for you that is overall that good? First off, he's one of the most adorable dogs in the game, and he will always stay with you most of the time. He's so adorable, and that's something that you love to look at. But also, you'll get random events with Pancake, and it'll be about him wanting some soup, and also about him wanting to go out. Now, if you keep him happy with the soup and he goes out, he might come back with an item or some soup. And this is really, really useful because he can really come in clutch. Because most of the time, it feels like he's programmed to come back with a medkit whenever one of your family members has been hurt and is in agony at that point. So yeah, always try to get Pancake the dog because he can really help you out. Tip number 4. Mutant Mary Jane. Now, inside of 60 seconds, the only family member that is able to mutate is Mary Jane, which is ironic as doing this makes her the most OP family member, when normally she is the most useless family member who never comes back with anything on expeditions. Now, the reason this will make her the most OP family member is because this will make her immune to sickness, fatigue, dehydration from what I know. Also, she is able to keep bandits away and is able to bring back pretty good items on expeditions and will not get lost on these expeditions. Now, the only thing you need to worry about with Mutant Mary Jane is feeding her soup. There's a very, and I mean like 1 in a million chance that she might eat a family member if she gets too hungry. But other than that, it's a very, very low chance. It's like winning the lottery. Probably not like winning the lottery, but it's a very low chance to happen. So just basically don't even worry about it. But remember, it's a luck based on her even getting mutated in the first place. Now, the way you get her is by either not doing anything about the green liquid that's dropping out of the pipe, the mutant spiders, or the mutant cockroaches. But do remember that all of this is luck based, and you are most likely not going to get her first try, and you'll most likely just get another family member sick. So you gotta think if it's worth it to get another family member sick to get Mutant Mary Jane. Now, this is the final tip. Tip number 5, how to get saved. Now, whenever playing 60 seconds, you can survive or get saved in a lot of ways. But there are 2 ways which are the easiest ways and most reliable ways to escape. And those are the military ending and the twins endings. Now, you initiate the twins ending by either answering the phone call that happens in between day 9 to 13, and the other way to initiate it is by either helping the girl/boy twin inside of the mission, which they have to save the other twin. Now, the way you initiate the military ending is by using the radio. but you only want to use it whenever it's just the survivors inside your bunker, but they know either what's going on or whether they just want to figure out if the military is going to be coming soon. You don't want to let them tinker with the radio, as this could break it, and this could ruin your chances of the military outcome. But with a little mini tip before we end the video, there are a couple of things that you will be presented with a choice with, and these are to like rob like stuff like an old folks home or a school. Do not under any circumstances rob these places unless you are not going for the twins ending, because if you do this, then the twins will leave you and they will not at all let you get saved by them, as they do not want to be associated with bandits. Now, anyways, I think those are all the tips and tricks that you need to start your atomic journey inside of 60 seconds. If you want to see more 60-second videos, then please let me know down in the comments and I'll be sure to do it. Anyways, I gotta head to bed. I'll see you all later. Bye.